Hello, and welcome to Sunday Sermon. It is Tammy coming to you live from my office. Welcome, my trippy hippies. I know it takes about 1 minute for people to jump on here. It always does. But that's okay because it always takes me a minute to get settled anyhow. I have not been live a lot this week, and unfortunately, that's probably going to be the norm going forward for just a little bit. I've got a lot of things going on, and so being able to come in here, hello, Dennis, on as many times a week as I have been doing it is not feasible. But you will be seeing more updates from me and shorter videos and quicker lives and things like that. The Sunday sermon is it will be here. That is something that I am going to that matters to me. That I hope matters to you. I get a lot of good feedback on the Sunday sermon, so we're going to keep it. And next Sunday we'll be live from our first guest appearance at a women's retreat. I'm super excited about that. So if you've not already done so and you would like to, you can come out and join us next weekend in Pamplin, Virginia at the second 40 to 420 The Farm. Good morning. As y'all jump on here, do me a favor, as you know the deal. Drop us a grateful fed in the comments, tag a friend, and tell us where you're watching from today. I will be doing a couple of things next week at the retreat. Number one, if you would like to come camp, it's $129 right now until we get 15 people. The price can't go down. It's understandable. It's bulk pricing. You know, we're not bulk yet. We're not a whole ounce yet. We're still a little quarter. So you got to pay full price. Right? Way to look at it. And then it's $129. You get your camping. You get infused meals. You get all the retreat activities. And then you get to take out some cool people. They've got Reiki and massage and sound baths and yoga and puffin paints and kickball games and dodgeball games and pool parties and movies and DJs and hiking and sitting there and a whole vendor market. All the people that are coming are going to vend. I am going to, and this is the goodness to honest truth. I might bring a few T-shirts. I might bring a few postcards and talk about the message. But next weekend is as much for my filling up my cup as it is about filling up others' cups, right? And I'm okay with that. I'm going to admit that. Two things can be true, and that's going to go into some of our topics today, right? So, sorry, I got choked up this morning. So if you saw the post that I posted today, it was about to announce Sunday sermon. I tagged a bunch of y'all in it. It says, if I can get my computer to do the thing, it was sitting right here for a purpose. I had it ready to go, and it moved on purpose on me. So it says, real growth is when you start checking and correcting yourself instead of blaming others. You take your power back by being responsible for your life, right? And that's what today is we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about taking responsibility for your life and second and third and fourth and fifth chances, right? And good morning. I can't see who that is, so give me permission to see your name. Good morning. This is Facebook user, right? Facebook user. So make sure you're allowing StreamYard to see your name, or put a dash in your name beside your comment so I can shout you out. Okay. So, like I said, this weekend at the retreat, when I go out and head out there, you know, part of the mission with Hometown Hippie is about being an educator and an advocator of how you take your power back from big pharma and all the things about plants over pills, right? Plants over pills. And there are people out there who get degrees in the science and all of the things. And I have not gone to cannabis college. I've not gone to University of Colorado, but I have over years of experience, as well as lots of extensive reading and trial and error research. I have come up with my techniques. And it's interesting because I get frustrated with myself a lot of times, right? I get frustrated with myself a lot of times when maybe I don't plants over pills forever. Yes, plants over pills forever, right? Plants over pills forever. It's giving me a lot of Facebook users today, so make sure you're allowing Facebook to see StreamYard to use your name so I can see you in the comments, okay? And there are times whenever, like I said, a lot of mine is just journal entries and intuition. And I tell you, I don't charge for the medicine because I don't. I charge for the magic. I charge for the intentionality because Reiki, level one Reiki healer, right? Reiki is infused into all of your treats. Hey, Savannah, as well as medicine, right? And I beat myself up. I beat myself up a lot of times because maybe I see you. I can see that. It says Sheila Lewis. Can you see me? It says Facebook user. So just allow StreamYard permission to see your name. That's all you have to do is allow them permission to use your name on the comments. So I get upset with myself because sometimes whenever I am trying to dose for me for sleep, or I'm trying to dose for me for like getting my anxiety in check and keeping my vibration in the same place, I will over medicate. And I will go from medicated to being an advocate and an advocate and an educator into being silly and stoned. Sometimes I allow permission. You have to like go into StreamYard. You might not be. You have to go out of the live, give them permission to use your name, and then come back into the live. It's a kind of. I'll let you do that. Give y'all a second. If you want to do that real quick, and then it should give you the prompt to do that. So it's not with me. It's going to be through a little clicky click kind of thing through Facebook. So I go live here, and then I'll usually go live. I'll call it TikTok After Dark when I'm like stupid, ridiculous, right? Um, and I spend a lot of time in my head about that. Like, hey, I'm not being the best advocate because I'm leaning into stereotypes when I do that, right? But for me, I was like, well, I would rather have, if I take an Ambien or I took let me tell you my nighttime routine before plants over pills. And I have to have to do some affirmations for myself, right? So my nighttime routine before plants over pills before 2019, I was on 13 different prescriptions, and it stemmed from migraine headaches. So I was on like the stuff that makes you taste shit taste. I have been off of medicine so long, I forgot the names of all of them. I used to spurt them off, the milligrams, the dosing, the generic name for it. I have been so far away from prescriptions, I can't remember the names of stuff, right? You sound old. Hello, Mama. It's not asking me to sound old. I can't see. I'm gonna go over here so I can see the comments. I can see who it is. If I look on my other feed, I can usually see it. It pops in so people can see on Facebook. I just can't see it. Let me turn this down completely first. Okay. I'm not sure if y'all are seeing me in YouTube on it must be on the yeah, it has to be. There it is. I see Savannah now. I see you, Savannah. I see you. I see Donna. But I was on Ambien, I was on Trazodone, I was on Klonopin, I was on Diazepam, I was on a cholesterol medicine, I was on a blood pressure medicine, I was on a migraine medicine, I was on an estrogen, I was on a Synthroid, and then all of those together, with like the vitamin D's, the 800 milligram ibuprofen, the breakthrough this, the breakthrough that when I needed that here and there, and I was medicated, and some nights I was way, way, way off the charts more than I ever was on a TikTok live on a little bit of pot, right? But because I feel like we have to protect the plant because they have led us to believe that that's demonized. Now, if you call me up at 3 a.m. on Ambien and tell me you've wrecked your car because you were sleep driving, they blame Ambien, right? But if you called me at 3 a.m. and we were like, hey, I got super stoned and went out and drove my car, I wrecked, people would say you're a drug. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so to me, it's like six of one, half dozen of the other. It's okay, girlfriend. I see you. I see you. So then I got to thinking about this whole thing about all these things. I'm like, okay, So if it's making me think if I'm thinking people are talking about me, they must be thinking I'm an awful person, because here you are saying that you're an advocate for plants over pills. This is medicine. And you just look like you're having the best time ever. And you're just a little stoned and you're talking nonsense and you're giggling at everything. See, that's exactly what stoners do, right? Um, when I started having those feelings about what people were thinking about me, I had right there, right? I had to stop myself. And this is why I have not been live. Okay. This is why I have been inside my own head. And this is why we're going to talk about this today, because I believe that you take your message, your mess, you turn it into your message, and it might help somebody else through a problem, right? Because a lot of people are not able to see that forest for the trees. If people talk about them, they just get mad about it, and they take it very personally, and they let it like dig into them, right? And so, um, what I realized was if I'm thinking about what everybody's thinking about me, if I am assuming, if I am assuming that everyone's talking shit about me, about what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, why I'm doing it, and if I stress over all of that, it has nothing, nothing to do with anybody is saying on the outside looking in. It is all about my perception of myself. I'm owning my bullshit, right? Um, And then I'm like, well, if I'm feeling this way, then what truth is there to this, right? And this is what happened a few weeks ago, when we started got a little pushback on the page, right? About how we were just it was really going away from topic and message about being an advocate, and be talking about how you combine your plant-based medicine with your mindset and your magic, and you become the best version of yourself. And I don't like that, because it sounds judgmental, and I've been working away from the best version of yourself and toxic positivity and everything's coming up roses. But I'm like, it is, right? But it's not about that. It's not about being the best version of yourself, because here's the thing. A lot of the things that I am like the most proud of, the most things that I overcame, the things that made me who I am, that gave me the wherewithal to be the person I am today, did not come out of moments of me being my best self. Can I get a hallelujah, amen? If some of the most shitty things that ever happened, some of the things that like changed your life and made you who you are today, and you can't go back, right? You know, like those are core things that you had to go through to give you the wherewithal, right? Can anybody else say that like the shittiest part of their life taught them some of the most beautiful lessons? That it wasn't when I was being my best self that I learned A, B, C, and D, right? When I was learning to be my best self was when I was being my worst self sometimes. Can anybody else understand that? Can anybody else feel that in their bones? I feel like somebody's like, fuck, I feel attacked today, right? A couple of us. I feel attacked by myself today, right? Most of the things that I can come and talk to y'all about, most of the things that I can come and stand on are the things that I stand on because I rose from, right? I took this phoenix and I rose from it, right? Because a lot of times, and it sucks to feel this way, but when we start going down that spiral, right? When the dominoes start falling, right? When the dominoes start falling and rolling down, and they start doing that spiral thing, right? Sometimes we get caught up, and versus it being like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, the Toto and stuff, like blowing you up and sucking you back up through it, you are getting pushed down, and you were 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 caught up in it, and you don't know how to break the cycle. How do I know? How do I know, right? How do I know? And um I'm talking about this because it matters, right? Because I have been struggling with this. I have been struggling with the momentum of any feeling, right? We talk, and this is about avocation and education, right? It's for me, it's about Learning to live in the balance versus learning to live in the extremes. So just like we get in that spiral of going down, 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 it's just one hit after the other, that becomes our comfort zone, right? Our comfort zone becomes getting hit by the wave, catching our breath, and then waiting for the next one to hit us, right? That becomes your comfort zone. Now, on the other side of that, when you get sucked up in it and things are going great, right? Good thing after good thing after good thing after good thing after good thing. And here's where you get with that. You're so afraid of that you're looking, you can't even enjoy the good thing after the good thing because you're on a pivot looking for the bad thing. For me, right? I'm always like, okay, okay. It's so much like I'm like, you can't. I don't trust it. Like I don't trust the good stuff sometimes. Like I'm like I don't know because we're living in the extremes, right? So we know here's what we can also know, right? And I'm gonna tell you this. I know, and we even have sayings in our culture about this, right? The bigger they come, the harder they fall. That's what they say, right? The bigger they come, the harder they fall. So think about this, right? Because we get nervous, right? The higher my high, the better things are going. The better things are going, the more afraid I am of the fall. Because we have been so programmed to live in the extremes. We have been so programmed to live in the highest of highs and the lowest of lows and not knowing how to swing in the balance. I talk about ebbs and flows. That's the highs and the lows, the ebbs and the flows. But what about just the treading water? And I don't mean the treading water to keep your breath, to keep your head above water. We all kind of feel like we're treading water sometimes just to keep up. But I'm talking about not even the treading of water. How about the back float? The back float. Right? How many of us would love to have just the peace, right? To swing in the peace, to swing in the peace. I'm going to tell you, right? It is a work in progress. I feel like I work to make my highs not so high and I make my lows not so low. And I'm going to tell you, like, I have gotten such highs and lows of the last year that I have honestly asked out loud to more than one person, including my spirit guides and angels. I'm like, am I bipolar? And I don't mean that in any kind of disrespect at all. I am truly like, I was like, I am feeling like this is unnormal, like days and days and weeks and weeks and weeks of just this mania. And then I can feel it. And I'm like, I have been questioning and questioning, and we did some work on it. It's not that. It's about learning the pendulum swing. It's about learning the pendulum swing and controlling your energy. Now, um, I've got a couple of things that came up, which is interesting. It always does. The universe always works in strange and crazy ways, right? Um, and I started thinking about it. And I started thinking about the highs and the lows and the swings from here to there and the advocacy of plants over pills and second chances and how this all plays together, right? How does this all play together? And then I saw that meme that I posted, right? Then I saw the meme that I posted, and Source started working in my brain. And I'll go to this meme because I want to. So, real growth is when you start checking and correcting yourself instead of blaming others. You take your power back by being responsible for your life. Now, this is going to sound crazy when I say this, but it's not when I finish. Okay? I want you to think about this. When you're reaching your highs and when you're reaching your lows, right? When you're spiraling up or when you're spiraling down, I want you to really, really think about what the story is about those things. Because I'm going to tell you this now. When you are feeling like you're spiraling super high or you're spiraling super low, most of the time when I have those conversations with people, and I'm talking about me as well, we are always talking about how so and so or something or something else external is affecting our spiral. I am as guilty as anybody else. I'm like, Right now, that my family, a lot of shit's going on, and I just can't handle it because this is happening, and she's doing this, and that person's doing this, and gas prices are high, and I can't afford this. And when we are having those moments, I want to ask you, yes or no, right? Tell me the truth. And you're spouting down like my landlord did this, and the bank doesn't do this, and my job is doing this, and my friends are doing this, and my ex and my boyfriend or my girlfriend or my this and that is doing that. When we are spiraling, it is always because we have given our power away to other people. And that is completely and 100% our fault. Can I get a hallelujah amen? Think about it, right? I don't spiral because you will never hear somebody say, I have done this, I have done that, I have done this, I have done that, I have done this, I have done that, and everything is crazy, right? Tell me the truth. Tell me yes or no. Is that true or false? Can you relate to that? I see some amens coming up, right? Because we blame it on everybody else. And that's what, and I say that because that's what it is. That is what the hell it is. It is blame. Because we know when we get to the top of the spiral or we get to the bottom of the board, right? And when we try to do the rebound, when we find the message in the mess, when we find the message in the mess, it's because we have accepted our responsibility in it. When we take our power back as people, right? When we say, if I'm letting this bother me, then I'm letting this bother me. It's not that that's the problem, and it's me allowing it to be a problem. When you say, and somebody says to me, like, so and so, this is happening, and I don't know what to do about it, I'm like, yeah, you do, but you have to do the harder thing sometimes, right? Sometimes I'm not saying that it's easy. It's not like, oh, well, that's the thing. It's me. Then let me. I get it. That's the whole human experience. That's what life is all about, right? But when you're looking for those, but sometimes when you're an empath, it's hard not to care about what others think. Give away your power if you would like to. As an empath, it is your job to protect you. That's an excuse. And that's what I'm saying is that you're in a spiral. You're one or the other. Because when you get to the place where you want different for yourself and you want that second or third or fourth chance, you really want it, like you want to change things, none of that matters anymore. And my kiddos on here, like Evan can be on here, Red can tell you, my sister can tell you. Um, I I told Evan, I'm like, here's the thing, buddy. I'm like, we've had these conversations, and whenever he and I have gone through it a couple of years ago, and I did it, a lot of y'all saw it, but I had to draw boundaries because I loved him, right? And in the moment, in the spiral, he could blame me for needing to go find somewhere to live super quick and to have to do this and to have to do that. But today, when he's not in that spiral anymore, he understands it. So if whenever you are still saying, but it's still hard because I'm an empath, that's an excuse. Empaths have tools and duties. Show up to meditation, protect your energy, find talismans, do meditations. Yeah, you get better at it, right? You get better at it. But what I'm saying is that you have to 100% own it. You have to own it, and that's what I'm saying. The message was about until we can check and correct ourselves, until we say, um, you know, it's my bullshit, right? It's like I know that this person's an asshole, but my life, I don't have the courage right now to not stand beside this person. I'm not ready to give this up yet, right? A lot of you are in that situation. I get that. Um, I know when I start spiraling, I mainly blame myself. I own that. I know I get myself to that point. And when you are able to own it, right? And here's the thing, like this is where the next step is, Kim, and I love that. I know. And I say this to the person that I work with, my woo-woo guru, right? I do sessions, Reiki sessions and esoteric healing sessions and um all kinds of things for me to be a better person. And I will say, I'm like, I know that it's me. I know. It's just like, I hear that you know it, but your guides are like, now that you know it, what the fuck are you going to do about it? Like, you can know it, But knowing it is half the battle, right? And knowing is half the battle. And it takes loving ourselves and putting ourselves in a situation where we're like, I deserve, I am worth it, right? And that's where I always talk about everything starts with self love, because when you love yourself, you forgive yourself. When you love yourself, you call yourself on your bullshit. There's days when I have called myself on my bullshit. I'm like, here's the thing. I know that I'm being a bitch. I know that I am. I can feel it in my soul, and it's not fair to you. It's not fair to anyone else. I'm like, I am trying to correct this behavior. But in this moment, these are the things that are pissing me off and triggering me. And you're a human being, and you can continue to live your life in that capacity. But this is how I'm going to act with you if we stay this way, or I'm going to have to not interact with you to save my peace and yours. You got to finish the fight. Um, and it is about really owning your part in it. And it's not just about owning your part in it. Like, I know I'm an asshole. Like I've said, I'm like, I don't like A, B, and C. I hate it. And if somebody does A, B, and C, there are certain things that I will not share energy with you. For me, drugs, and I know that sounds crazy, drugs, and I mean go-go juice, alcohol, things like that. Like, that is not those things vibrate at a low level. They are low vibrating. And here, I believe that you have the choice to choose anything in life that you want to choose for you. Now, personally, I have made the decision, because I don't want to spiral and get upset with everybody in my vicinity, because I hate it. I will not share space with those things. You can eat, but just not at my table. You won't come in my house. I don't want you on my property. Those things, I just don't want that shit around me. I do not want it around me, right? Weed is not cannabis. And I know that people say, well, weed, cannabis, weed, that is medicine. And I know that it affects and that's what I get on those lives. And I've gone past medicated into goofy and silly, right? And that's when I start like, how do I align this? And that's what I've been struggling with. How do I align one and the other? How do I put and I'm like, there's obviously something that is stressing me out about this. It's a projection for me. Let me look at it. And I looked at it, and that's what it is. It's because I am very, very, very rigid and very unbending when it comes to people's other vices other than cannabis. And here's what I came up with this weekend in my brain. I'm dealing with it myself, okay? Because my husband loves a drink, and I hate it. I hate it. Like, I want it to be not on my property. I hate it, because I know that's a depressant. I know that it's a lower vibrating thing. And when I have worked and I have invested dollars and time and love into myself, and it's a boundary for me. And one of my shadow work pieces is to learn to set boundaries out of clarity and not when I'm mad, right? So here's what I decided, right? I'm like, that's fine. Everyone is grown and can do as they choose. That is your decision. But if you want to share space with me, that is a boundary that I will not erase or loosen. A glass of wine, a mixed drink, a beer at dinner, socially. But when you drink to get like to alter your being, I just can't. It triggers me to the point of no end. It triggers me. I don't know why, and I will do some journeying on it, but it triggers me past the point of no return. I have seen such awful dynamics. I did not grow up with my parents drinking like that. My mom owned a bar, and she drank at the bar, but I never saw my dad is not a drinker. Never been a thing for us. Drugs have never been a thing in my house. Like, pot was a big deal for my dad. I never even smoked cigarettes till I was like 30, and I quit that quick. It was just never a thing. It was not. It was my dad was like a Reagan, like, say no to drugs. I taught students against, students organized for developing attitudes. I wasn't around that, but I know that there is power in cannabis. And I don't want to ever be the reason why somebody looks at it and thinks that it's bad. And like I can, like if I triggered somebody with my being a little stoned, then I have sat here and I have beat myself up, right? Functioning alcoholics on all sides. Yeah. And I mean, there are people who drink. I get that. But here's the thing. There are people that do all that. And they do all the things, right? And like I said, that is their decision. That is everybody's decision, right? If that is your afternoon, whatever, um, but it triggers me, and that's a boundary. And I'm like coming up with some of these boundaries that are big boundaries for me. And, I see a lot of people who have so much potential in their life. People who want to accomplish amazing things, who tell me these stories, and they're great. But as soon as they are able to, they start doing this. And then their motivation, their energy, their good choices, because that spiral happens because you can't make good choices. They just when I came home from work on Friday, Tommy was drunk. It was so sad. I was mad. Day drinking alone, that's a red flag for sure. I became triggered. Both parents, yeah. And it stresses you out, right? Because you're like, what's next? Um, you know, uh, and it's a hard boundary to set because it's like, how do I tell you? Because I'm like, that's what I said. That's what I came to. I was like, I don't have the ability. I cannot. It's not my job. Every person has to make those decisions for themselves. But I just see that and I'm like, with weed for me, like I don't make any different choices. I might eat I might eat a bigger dessert, but I'm not going out and like starting fights or saying rude things. And that's I love that. So Kim says 3 days in a row, I ate pineapple thinking at one time that I get everyone I was able to organize so much in my home and help a friend build a organize my movies left. And that's what I'm saying, right? I don't see that with other things. And that's why I do not classify cannabis as a drug. But here's the thing, like anybody can justify what they do. But I have been struggling with that, right? And owning it. And I'm owning it today. And I want to tell that's why I'm sharing. Sunday sermons are usually about some crazy shit that happened to me during the week. My God's angels over say, hey, that's the story to share today. It matters to somebody. I feel like I'm rambling and I'm not making sense, but um, when people ask me all the time, like Tammy, this person did this and this, they'll tell me. Like I know a lot of y'all have like connections outside of me. Like y'all known each other through high school or friends or out at the bars or in town or even in other places. Like I have like a group of people in Kentucky. I got a group of people in this place, a group of people in that place that all kind of know each other. And I will get, right? Um, I want to hang on. I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna go over here and I am going to share this, right? Because I want to show this for a second, okay? It's interesting that we say that because I talk about how as parents, right, as a mother, that there's a lot of shit we as people will tolerate. Mother, father, whatever, as me as a person, I will tolerate. But I will take abuse. But if you try to abuse something that I love, like my kids, my husband, my niece, my nephew, my family, if you try to hurt something that I love, I am strong enough to stand up to you. I am strong enough to say, I love that and you will not hurt it, right? I will charge hell with a squirt gun for the things that I love. And that's why it's so important for things like this, right? Because what happens if that son hadn't been there? What happens if it was just you? Would you still be in that situation, right? And what I want you to think about is this, right? What I want you to think about is this is that when we really truly, this is what today was about self love and acceptance and about self love because here's the thing, right? That's why my entire message is about the power of one. One. The power of one. Every day going out and making the world a better place for one person. And some days that person has to be you. And when you're living in the spirals, when you're going way up and you can't control it, or you're going way down and you can't control it, those days you cannot pour for what you don't have. So on those days, you need to be focused on pouring into yourself and loving yourself. And I was saying, like, when people say, if you love something, you'll take care of it. You need to love yourself, because all of those second and third chances, you won't need so many extra chances, because you will not burn bridges. You will not make those decisions. You will not choose to put things in your body that are shitty for your body. You will not choose to make choices that continue to put you in bad situations when you love yourself, because you treat yourself like something you love. And I don't care if you're a mom, I don't care if you're a caregiver, I don't care if you've got the weight of the fucking world to take care of. You cannot do it. You cannot do it until you take care of yourself. And I preach this message, and I preach this message Sunday after Sunday, month after month, day after day, year after year, because you still are not doing it, right? And I don't know if I'm channeling that because it's talking to like y'all are still not doing it. You're still not doing it, right? You need to look yourself in the mirror every day. I love you. Say it till you mean it. And this is what came up today. This was self-love and acceptance affirmations, right? And these are the things, right? A lot of times we are in those spirals and we can't check ourselves and we can't own our mistakes because we're still too busy blaming others. Because we know as soon as we own it, accept it, then we have to change it. Then the hard work starts, right? It's easy to be victim in their spiral. As much as you say, no, I don't like it, then why do it? You can stop it at any moment. And when you realize you have that power, and if somebody makes an excuse in these fucking comments about, but I can't because this, you are still spiraling. Trust me, when you decide at any moment, wherever you are, spiraling up or spiraling down, if you are in a place right now, you have every piece of the power to stop it. I'm gonna use a big old nerd reference, right? My Harry Potter reference, right? It's when Harry Potter and it's the Prisoner of Azkaban, and he and Hermione have traveled back in time. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Can you get some thumbs up, some hearts, some O faces if you're following me on the movie I'm talking about, right? And the Dementors are there, and he and Hermione are looking across the bank, and they see Sirius Black and Harry Potter from the earlier like timeline, and they're getting killed by the Dementors, right? And Harry keeps saying, "Don't worry, my dad's coming to save us, right? My dad's coming to save us." And Hermione reminds him, "He's like, your dad, nobody's coming." And Harry had the strength, right? He had the strength in that moment to muster the Patronus. And I know that I'm way too nerdy for y'all, but I love Harry Potter. I know the terminology. And he was able, right, to muster the Patronus and save himself. That is a lesson, right? Is that we all have the power to save ourselves if we just believe in ourselves. We just have the confidence in ourselves, right? He didn't know. He's like, I can't do this. She's like, yes, you can. You've already done it. And he had the confidence that he'd seen it. And I want you to know, right? You have it in you to muster your own Patronus to save your own life. Now, um, self-acceptance affirmations, right? Things that you need to say every day. Like, I love myself, right? Here's what I'm gonna tell you to start with, okay? If you cannot look yourself in the eye and say I love you, here's what I want you to start with. And I want to let y'all know that this is pulled. These go into love spell cookies. These affirmations go into love spell cookies for each of you. They pretty much go into everything that I have been cooking. This is part of the magic. People say, what is your secret? I'm getting ready to read y'all my secret, and I've never read this to y'all out loud before. I read it to your food every time, right? And this is what I am going to share with you today. I want y'all to claim it in the comments, okay? Self-acceptance affirmations. I typed these up forever ago. I am worthy of love, flaws, and all. Right? Stop believing that you're only lovable when you're perfect. None of us are perfect people. We are trial and errors, right? We know that the spirals are going to happen up and down. It's just how quickly can we catch it, right? I catch myself doing this. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I catch myself doing this a lot quicker than I don't get down here, right? Or I don't get up here. I'm living in the here. I'm still trying to get here. I'm still living in the here, right? But you're worthy of love, flaws and all. And that's part of it, self-acceptance. Like, I know that this is about me. And now that I know this about me, I can start working on it because I love myself and I want to make myself the favorite version of me, right? And I'm going to give myself gentleness, ease, and grace because of flaws and all. Everybody fucks up from time to time, right? I accept all of me with love, right? Again, it's about accepting every piece and part of you, right? It's about accepting the good, the bad, and the ugly. When we recognize that, hey, whenever I do this, like I know the reason that I hate alcohol is because I had a lot of bad shit happen because I made bad choices when I used alcohol. I put myself in situations that I would normally not put myself into because I knew better. Right? When somebody's like, well, so and so did this, and I was like, where were you at? Oh, I was drinking at 3 o'clock in the morning at somebody's house. Then you put yourself in that situation because nothing good happens at that time of night in somebody's house with alcohol. You know bad shit's going to happen. Not that it makes it right, but it still makes it a little bit more predictable, right? And we can then not make that happen again. Number three, the one that I love for all of y'all and that I try to make sure everybody knows is that I deserve to be happy. You deserve to be happy, right? I talk about this a lot about how we are programmed to be like, I am too scared to be excited about this because some bullshit's about to happen. If I'm happy, then sad is right around the corner. And I'm going to live in a perpetual state of fear of either one because I don't want an emotion because I know the other side of it, right? When you stop allowing yourself to, if you don't believe that you deserve happiness, you'll never be truly happy. I want you to love yourself and to believe that you deserve happiness. And I stir that into everything that let y'all know you deserve it. You are worth it. I love every one of y'all and I want you to be happy. You have to want to be happy for it to happen. Like everyone, I have both strengths and weaknesses, right? A lot of times when I get upset with myself, here's what my guides will say to me. It's like, oh, poor human being. Like, I messed that up. I can't believe I did that. It's such a dumb, oh, poor human. I'm like, what is that supposed to be? Like, everybody messes up. Part of the rules of being a human are to err. To err is human, right? To err is human. Um, like everyone, I have both strengths and weaknesses. There are things that I am shit at. There are things that I am great at. And there are things that you watching, whether you believe it or not, there are things that you are amazing at. There are things that you are the best at, right? And we all have things that we're not great at. Maybe math is not my strong suit, right? Math is not my strong suit. There's a lot of things I'm not good at. I'm not great at like physical work. I don't mean that. I mean like digging holes, and I'm not going to be great at that. Just not. I don't want to do it, so I'm not going to be good at it. This one is probably more for me than it is for a lot. I don't know. I'm a perfectionist. I'm a perfectionist to the nth degree. And the next affirmation is no one is perfect. Right? No one is perfect. And that comes with us, your friends, your partners. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, including you. No one is perfect. The next one, we are all, and somebody did this, we are all works in progress. WIP, 7 days a week. Work in progress. Make that Devil's Game week. I don't know. I thought that was funny. Work in progress. Make that self acceptance game week. We are all works in progress, right? We're all whips. Watch me whip. Watch me nene. I have to make it fun or I can't do it. Here's another big one, right? I believe in myself. And I'm going to let y'all know this one is one of my, I believe in me. And I'm like, I don't care if anybody else in the whole world, this is one that I can stand in. This is one that I can stand on, and I want y'all to stand on, right? I believe in myself. Well, y'all affirm that you believe in yourself in the comments because here's the thing. Whether you can or you can't, you are right. And I want every single person watching and hearing my voice, whether it's now or later, to say, I believe in myself, because I want you to know that honestly, whatever it is that you set your mind to, you can achieve it. I shit you not, it can be done. Promise. Promise. You just got to start with believing in yourself. And then last but certainly not least, right, is I am enough. I am enough. That one is a struggle. I believe in myself, but the I am enough is a struggle for me. And when I struggle with that, I own it. I'm like, no one else does that but me. Like, no one else tells me I'm not enough. Like, I'm not putting that on anybody else. That is a inner child shadow work thing that I have to work with. But I know that I am enough. Like, I am exactly what I am supposed to be at all moments in all times. But leaning into I am enough is hard. And that's what I'm working on. But I affirm it. And I believe in, excuse me, seek what you speak till you see what you said. Right? And affirmations are just that, right? I am worthy of love, flaws and all. I accept me with love. I deserve to be happy. Like everyone, I have both strengths and weaknesses. No one is perfect. We are all works in progress. I believe in myself. I am enough. I love me. Own it. Affirm it. Speak what you seek till you see what you say. Speak what you seek. I don't know. That's very, very, very sorry. I'm just being silly. I mean, I'm out here, right? I'm considering into this says I'm enough. I love that. Speaking of tattoos, here's where let me take this little thing down real quick. I'll give y'all little clues here. So that's as far as I got yesterday. We are getting there. It hurts. I don't know how much more I can do. I don't know if we're gonna do anything more than just that. I don't think I'm gonna have a whole sleeve kind of person. It hurt, and I'm like, I'm a wuss. I hurt. It hurts so much. I can't see what that says, Sheila. I effing love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, and here's the thing: when people say, "Tammy, you give a lot of people who've done a lot of stupid shit," like I was going to that, and I got kind of taken off the color strings. Worse. Oh, they're awful. They hurt. Hi, Savannah, by the way. Hi, Savannah. Okay, thank y'all. I was talking about this earlier, how like somebody will tell me something somebody that I'm dealing with did. Like, I heard someone tell was coming over here, want you to tell you about that. I was like, stop. Okay. I interact with a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds who maybe have had backgrounds, who've not had the best, have not made the best decisions. But when I decide to interact with those people and give those people second chances or third chances or fifth chances, right? Please know that I'm not doing it stupidly, that I am setting boundaries with people, that I am saying, and here's the thing, I know when people are ready for that chance or not. I know when people are ready to really kind of like get their shit together and start making choices because they don't blame anybody else. They don't say, hey, like they'll say to me, I have been fucking up my life, Tammy, and I am doing my best to get it back together, and I'm making better choices, and I see them make better choices, and I support them in it. And I say sometimes people have to spiral. It's their karma. And I was getting overwhelmed whenever I would see y'all spiral, and I was trying to jump into action and like put the trampoline down or like put an airbag down or make it easier for you. And Carly pulled me aside. She said, you have to stop. It's wearing you out as an empath, right? Somebody up here said it. I'm gonna do it right here. This is why I pulled. This is why I called this out, because I said this exact thing like 3 months ago to Carly. She's like, you have to stop. I was like, it's hard as an empath. I'm taking on everybody else's stuff, and I was crying all around the clock. I was taking every piece of y'all's pain, and instead of transmuting it, I was feeling it all. And I was like, I am not doing my job because people are still in pain, and people are still making bad choices, and people are still homeless and hungry and losing jobs and cars, and they're dealing with staying, abusive relationships, and nothing is working. And I was told, continue to plant the seed, water, and then allow them to grow where they're planted and grow. Maybe they're growing roots right now. And as they said, the message that I came up with on my podcast was about how looking outside, it's been so dry and we had not had any rain. And I didn't understand how everything wasn't like dying and dead because of the amount of water we had had. And my angels, guides, and helpers says, you don't know what's happening underneath the surface. Like you're seeing that and thinking you know everything that's happening. And God was like, there's a whole system. You have a pond. Like my grass stays green because there is taproot to these trees, and then the trees could bring water through, and then there's groundwater, and there's ability for the roots are drinking, right? Sometimes people are growing deep roots before they grow up tall. And to remind me that I don't see the fruit of all of my labor. Like God was like, Tammy, you don't see the midnights when they're getting ready to text that person and you go into their head like, nope, Tammy's right. I love myself not to do that. And God showed me, and Source showed me the effect. He's like, it's not for you to know everything. You're supposed to be a good and faithful servant and deliver the message, and that's what your job is. It's not to know everything. And I'm like, okay, well, and I am learning, and part of my owning it is learning to be a passenger, learning that it is my job to trust and to do as I am, led, and not to worry about the outcome. Progress over perfection. I'm attached to the progress, or detach from the outcome, and commit to the process. Like do the process. The outcome, you cannot control. That is not for you. That is not your responsibility. And I'm learning to lean into that. And it's hard, right? Can't water the weeds and expect the fruit to grow. Yeah. And I have found that for me, um, a lot of practicing what you preach, right? A lot of times I'll tell y'all when I come on here and somebody feels like I'm pointing at them, like you need to do this, like hellfire and brimstone, like an old preacher. Like I went to Pentecostal church, so I know about like praise the Lord, right? In a minute, I'm gonna need it's about damn time. But I know about like hellfire and brimstone preaching, and I sometimes don't want to ever feel like that because I want y'all to know if you feel like I'm pointing here, I'm pointing back at me too. This thumb's pointing back because it's always something that I've gone through. I make my message, and I've done all those things. I have lived through all those things. I have thought I can love them through it. I can change them, whether it be friends, spouses, or not spouses, friends. I only had one spouse, and even then, we might have we have ups and downs. I can promise you that. But when I said I don't love them any less. I just learned to love me more. When you love you more, you make better choices and you put yourself in a better place. So as always, I hope that made sense. I don't know that it did. I know that I don't even know what I talked about today, really. Um, Acceptance, self-love, second chances, owning your bullshit, right? Accountability, right? That's a big word. And I'm not meaning that to like disparage anybody. And here's the thing, I don't judge anybody. And I say that with the utmost respect. I would not make choices that some people make, but I don't walk in their shoes. And again, I don't judge, but I choose who I can share space with. And it's not about so much about judging and choices, it's about an energy field. I can feel energy now. And I can feel it strong. When somebody's energy is off, I cannot. Because I am an empath, and that's what my rule was, right? Like you're right, you do absorb it, so you have to choose to protect it. And it's my job to protect my energy field. And it is your job to protect your energy field. And sometimes the person that's messing up your energy field is you. And that's the accountability piece, right? That's the part of like, let me own this bullshit. And when I really looked at it, like whenever I was like, well, the doctors, anybody ever done? I know I'm trying to wrap it up, I promise. But the blame game, I'm talking about this, right? This is the kind of like pure accountability you need to have. If you're broke, it's not the bank's fault. We all know that. Right? If your car is repossessed, it's not because they messed up a payment. It's because you didn't make it. This is just the God's honest truth. If you don't have a job anymore, it's not your boss's fault. It's not. You fucked up that job and you know it. Like whoever's yelling, you know it. In your heart of hearts, you know it. You have to own all of that. You have to see it all. I saw it all. I got fired from a very, very, very good job, and I blamed it forever. It's me. It was me. I did it.
right? I self-sabotage. I upper limited myself. I decided that I wasn't worth that. So I made choices and did things and then complained about it and blamed other people. If you're not talking to your adult child and you don't know why, yes, you do. You know why you're not talking to that kid. You know why, and I'm not saying that you're right or they're right, but you know why. It's not for no reason. Right? I have people that I don't talk to. I know exactly why I don't talk to them. It's not for no reason. There's drama there, and I choose. That's what it is. We have to accept all of it. We have to address all of it. We have to stop blaming everybody. We have to take this like radical acceptance of all the things, and we have to turn that into our message. That's all I'm saying, because I know that I've done it, right? Like bill collectors calls, dude, the hospital, and why do you? I know why, because I didn't pay the bills. Why they keep calling me? Like, why am I doing it? When I was young, I thought, well, I've been thankful I was a second chance. Oh, so in turn, I always do the same. I love that. I always do the same. I'll give somebody a second chance when they're ready for a second chance. If they come to me and tell me about why this is happening and why that is happening, and they blame everything and they're telling me about all the stuff that caused them to have a terrible life, they are not ready for a second chance yet. They're ready for me to listen and go, I'm so sorry. That sucks. Still not coming to my house yet. You know what I mean? Like you're still not sitting at the table. I cannot let you at the table yet. You got some work to do. Get your shit. It's not my place to tell you what that work is. All I can say is that your energy and my energy do not align yet. And I wish you the best and I will be there to support you, but you cannot eat at my table. And that's a boundary I have to set. That's a boundary we all have to set, because sometimes people have to have their karma. They have to hit that rock bottom to be able to find their way out of the darkness. Because sometimes it's your job to find your way out of it. I can't fix it for you. Your mom can't fix it. Your dad can't fix it. Your granny can't fix it. Your best friend can't fix it. The boy, the girl, the thing, the dog, nothing can fix it. If your life is not where you want it to be, the only person who has the power to fix that is you. And the reason that I say that, and it sounds so harsh when I say that, it's not trying to be. It is trying to make you understand how amazing you are. That you have the power. You have that power within you. And I don't mean it to be mean. And saying no, you can't eat at my table is not my responsibility. I mean that because it is yours. And when you find that light, when you find that power, when you muster your own Patronus and save your own life, then your fire is so bright that it cannot be put out. I had to save my own life, and I know that people have given me second chances and help before, but until I mustered my own Patronus, it did not make a difference. Nothing in my life changed. I just kept doing the same bullshit in a different place with different people. I'd burn a bridge, start over, and then do the same shit with different but the same. Another group of people with the same characters, just different names. Anybody else can relate to that? Misery loves fucking company, and when you're miserable, you will find company. There's plenty of it in this world right now. But until you muster your own Patronus and you burn that shit down with your own sword, with your own magic wand, until you go Expecto Patronum, and all of those characters fly away because you're shining so bright, they can't be in your sunshine because they're not ready for it yet. And the people that are meant to be in your soul family will always find their way back around. Always. So that's what I got to say about that. And that's why I'm harsh about it. That's why learning how to set boundaries out of clarity is a big thing for me. And that's a big one that I'm setting. And I'm strong with it. And people know that I mean it now. Like they see the expecto patronum. I don't know what mine is. Probably a cupcake. The Swedish chef is my Patronus. All right, we're gonna do a little card pull today. Then we're gonna get off here tonight. I'm trying to keep things under an hour. I'm not gonna keep it under an hour today, but we're gonna be close. All right. As always, remember everything starts with the breath. So if this message got you kind of like, woo, Tina spoke some truth today, take a deep breath. In on one, out on two, three, four, five. Three deep breaths. Smell the birthday cake, blow out the candle. We're calling in the angels, guides, and helpers, all that are there to accept us and help us and be with us and guide us and lead us. And we're going to ask for a card that's the highest and best for this group for this week to support the message we have given today. We ask for some clarity and guidance for affirmations, for journal entries, for the stone and the crystal that's going to the best ability to help this group with the things they need help with. We're going to shuffle 7 times with 7 and 7 just jumped up, and I always try to look for the numbers there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, 5, 6, 7. And our card today is the Garnet. Hey, Heather Jones, is a good one today. The Garnet, and it says ignite your passion, which is interesting about like igniting your passion and about the Patronus, because I feel like when you take back your power, when you stand in your power, when you say, I am going to save myself, I am my own hero, you have to ignite your passion, right? You have to ignite the passion. And we're going to talk about what Garnet says here in the book. We've never had a Garnet get pulled before. It's the first time I've honestly, in the years of pulling cards, that I've seen the Garnet. So I'm anxious to see what this says. You need a little spice in your life. Light a match to kindle your fiery, passionate nature. The heated energy that comes from raw passion will fuel your sense of excitement in everything you do. Instead of succumbing to what at times can be a monotony of everyday routines, approach the people and projects in your life with enthusiasm and renewed vigor. This perspective will energize all areas of your life, including your relationships, career challenges, and projects. Interesting. I feel like this is really saying to me, it's about seeing life through a different lens, right? Looking at your life through a different lens, looking at your life through the what if lens, right? The what if I took my power back? The what if I was my own hero and I didn't allow people to affect my energy? If I didn't blame other people? If I took acceptance and responsibility for my actions and said, hey, when the bill collector calls Monday, I say, hey, versus me hanging up on you and being mad that you're bothering me because I didn't pay you the money that I owed you. That's how like real I'm talking today, right? How can we work this out? Because a lot of times it takes having a conversation. Maybe if you're on the last leg at work with like attendance or whatever, you go in Monday morning and you say, hey, I looked at my life. Obviously, I am doing something to really affect my job and I'm on the last leg. I'm sorry, it'll be better going forward, or I will go out and I will find something somewhere else that, maybe is a better suit for me. Or maybe versus having that conversation, you do better at that job and you start looking for other jobs. Because if you're late to your job every day, you don't want to be there. Just a little heads up, right? Maybe if that relationship is not working for you, you can tell that partner, hey, I love you, but just not, I'm not in love with you. I'm not here with me. Like two things can happen. Like we can both like be great parents, but not together. Or we can both be friends, but not lovers. Or we can be lovers, but not friends. Maybe you're trying to get into that other relationship, whatever it is. Approach your life this week with brutal honesty. Approach your life with like the love of yourself and the passion of I'm going to protect me and I'm going to take care of me. Because here's the thing. If you're a wife, if you're a mother, if you're a husband, if you're a father, if you're a brother, a sister, a daughter, a friend, okay, you can't be the best version of that or the favorite version of that until you are the favorite version of who you want to be. Until you are taking care of you, you cannot take care of others. I say this is power of one. And you cannot pour from an empty cup. On the airplane, the stewardess says, in case of an emergency, the oxygen mask will drop from the above compartment. Please secure and fasten yours before you help your neighbor. You can't put somebody else's oxygen mask on if you're passed out but you can't breathe. Okay? So ignite your passion this week with the Garnet and look at life through a different lens. Here are your core questions to journal, and these are great journal questions. What gets you out of bed in the morning? What lights a fire in your soul? How can you bring more passion to some of the less exhilarating parts of your day? Crystal affirmations this week. My inner fire brings passion to everyday life. Today, do one thing or listen to a song that gets you fired up. And that's our Garnet today. So, on that note, I am going to love myself. I'm going to give myself grace this week. I'm going to understand that I am perfect, flaws and all. that I am going to understand that I'm going to commit to the process and detach from the outcome, that I'm not going to give myself this judgment because I'm judging me, nobody else is. So if I use my medicine at nighttime to go to sleep, and the part of the side effects of my cannabis use is that I'm giggling and listen to a good playlist on TikTok, I'm not going to judge this. I'm not going to judge myself anymore. I'm not going to think that I'm an awful, terrible human being, that I am no better than the person who's out at 3 o'clock in the morning doing go-go. I was like, what is wrong with me? Why do I believe, like, why am I getting in my head? I am projecting, right? I'm projecting. We have a couple of fun things. Okay, now I appreciate y'all for listening to my TED Talk today, right? Um, if you can make it next weekend, if you are a female over the age of 21, because it is a cannabis friendly event, there will be infused foods and free stuff all weekend long to partake of. We will be meeting about 4:20, 3 o'clock. We can get set up and camping next Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you come to brunch, if you come to the Sunday sermon, I am going to bring a box of, like, I think I'll make some like banana nuts or some blueberry muffins to give out. It's like a thank you for coming to my Tammy Talk at the event. So I'm going to give out those to people that come to my workshop. I'm hoping that we'll have a full house for Sunday sermon. I'm going to ask that if anybody in the group is coming, if you can maybe get with me, I will do a little something extra if you will help be my like videographer for the weekends. I want to get some videos. I want to do some promotional things. I want to allow people that can't make it. I'm going to do some like lives from the camper at night. Um, I've got some ideas, but I am going to also unplug, and I'm going to be kind of like getting my cup filled up and getting some Reiki done on me, getting some massage, doing some like blaze and gaze meditations at night, just kind of like enjoying where I'm, the world. So lots more to come. I will see y'all tomorrow morning for Wake and Bake. I think I can make that work tomorrow morning. Um, we have lots of stuff to do. We do have a sale on Munchie of the Month boxes. I've never done that. I understand. I know that it's short notice. It's going to be $129 per person for camping and for the retreat. And then there are if we get 15 people, it can be $100 a person. So just so y'all know, there's ability. And then I'm going to talk to her. I'm going to look at the setup of the camp and all the things. And then I am going to see about maybe getting the entire facility for a hometown hippie kind of like festival in the spring or early summer. So we're going to go from there. But on that note, y'all, I love each and every one of you. I am going to get off of here today. I'm going to go to Food Lion. I got to do some stuff, get some food. It's a nice day outside. Get some laundry done, get the house cleaned up, reset for the week as normal. I'm like super hot today. I don't know what that's about, but I'll figure it out. But as we always say, peace, love, and feast. And as always, stay elevated. I love y'all. Thank you for tuning in today.